Craig Collins is the Chief Evangelist, CEO, Chairman, Co-founder, and Reading Specialist of Yes, You Can Read Now Incorporated, who promotes his brother Doug's evidence-based universal reading method. During Craig's 3-year worldwide literacy tour, he personally taught over 1,000 students who collectively had a wide selection of alleged reading-disabled diagnoses. In concert with this, Craig assembled a team to create an online version of the universal reading method, which is now available to anyone with an internet connection. Commensurate with his professional background in academic studies in psychology and social welfare, Collins is leading his team of professionals to reveal the truth about reading and is bringing literacy to millions of students around the world. His passion, drive, and determination on behalf of his students, championing their right to read English, is imbued with the same far-reaching goals and persistence he used to become a competitive athlete.
Well, we are so blessed right now to have Craig Collins on the set with us because he's going to bring you some information that is going to blow your mind. So Craig, share with us, if you would please, your expertise when it comes to teaching people how to read.
We teach people to read English, and a lot of people talk about that and think about that, but we teach people how to read English in 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. Are
I
you ready
had to
for
go
that?
to school for 3 years to do that.
Yes.
How do you do it in 2.5 hours?
We teach 7 concepts. And when we teach someone to read in 2.5 hours, we start them off, they'll be maybe at a 4th grade level. And when we're done in 2.5 hours, they're at a post-high school level. And I want you to know, I'm extremely passionate about this. I've traveled around the world for 3.5 years teaching students and finding students who were dyslexic, people that were autistic, people that had Asperger's syndrome. In Palo Alto, I taught a woman who had Alzheimer's disease. And so she was able to return in the 2.5 hours. And she was a sweet, sweet lady.
Wow. So it doesn't matter their age. It doesn't matter, where they're at in their life. You can take a person who has never been able to read or who maybe has a reading disability like dyslexia, and you're able to help them to learn to read in 2.5 hours. This is so important news, and again, this is why Shirlene and I do this show, is that we can bring you information that you wouldn't hear about otherwise, and these are like miracles that are happening on our planet all the time now. We're lifting humanity through all the gifts that are coming to the forefront through venues like this. So Craig, this is amazing what you're sharing with us.
You said you taught a woman how to read that has Alzheimer's.
Yes.
How do you do that when they can't remember anything?
First off, she's 94 years old.
Oh.
So I got to talk with her for about 2 hours. And she said, and I'm going to use a voice that sounds like her, and she said, I haven't read for 3 years. And I said, oh my, 3 years. And I said, would you like to learn to read? Oh yes. She says, would you come tomorrow and we'll arrange a time? And I said, I would love to. And I talked to her for 2 hours, right? We had this wonderful love relationship going on. So I showed up in the morning and she was having her breakfast. And I said, hello, I'm here. And she said, yes, I don't think I know you. Hello. Are you one of the doctors? And I said, well, no, I'm not. I said, I teach people to read English. And she goes, oh, I haven't read for 3 years. I would love to learn how to read. And I said, well, I can teach you. She said, well, could you teach me tomorrow morning? And I said, yes. And she goes, well, that would be grand. Just put it on the grease board over there, and then the nurses will see it, and they'll wake me up and feed me, and I'll be ready for you. I said, well, that's great. So I left, all excited. And also feeling we had talked for a while, we'd exchanged some other words, and I think I've really got a relationship with her. She knows me who I am now. And so I came in the next morning, and I peeked into her room, and she was still asleep.
Oh, no.
They didn't see the grease board. So I went and got the nurses, and I said, I'm here to have an appointment with this woman, and you didn't get her up. Did you see the grease board? Oh my, yes, we'll get her up. Go sit in the waiting room, and we'll be right back. So 45 minutes later, they got her up, and they got her dressed, and they gave her a little bit of food, and I came into her room, and I'm all excited, and I said, well, are you ready? And she goes, I'm sorry, but I don't think I know you. And I go, yes, well, I've been sent by the director of the hospital to teach you to read. Oh, oh, read. I haven't read for 3 years. And I said, I think that's true. I said, well, would you like to learn to read now? And she goes, I would. And it's like, it's not like I have anywhere else to go. And so she was such a sweet lady. I started teaching her the reading method, and I did a pretest on her, and she couldn't read any words. So I began to teach her the reading method, and in 20 minutes, she looks up and she goes, hi, Craig, where's Jan? And I went, wow. Jan, it was the person who was sponsoring me in the area, and I said, well, Jan's going to come see you tomorrow. And I said, how are you? She goes, I'm fine. I like what you're teaching me. Keep going. So I said, okay. So I continued to teach her the reading method, and after about 55 minutes, I give her a break. So she sat in her bed because she was sitting in her bed, and I left her alone. And I went and had some glass of water, and left her alone. And I came back, and then I continued to teach her the reading method. And so at the end, we have 475 multi-syllable words, a long list of words. I have 7-year-olds reading those. I have dyslexic people reading those. And so, would you like to read some words? And she said, I would love to. I'd love to. So she gave her the list, and she started reading the words, and she just read them. Just read them and read them and read them and read them and read them. She's about to 300 words, and she puts her finger down. She says, Craig, I can read these words. I can read. I'm a good reader, and whatever you taught me, I can read really well. But what I'd like to do is, would you mind if I read to you something from the Bible that says thank you?
Oh,
and I said,
nice.
I would love for you to do that. Well, my Bible's in the drawer. If you pull it out, and also the print's so small, those darn Bibles, it says, would you hand me my glasses? I have reading glasses. And I thought, oh, I didn't have her reading glasses. Okay, but sure, she's got it. So she takes up. But it was more important than just that she does read to me from the Bible. It was that she knew what verse, she knew what it meant to her. And she found it, and she went through this like you and I would through the Bible, and found it, and then went down, and then she read me this verse from the Bible.
Wow.
Well, I'm kind of a softie, so that I feel these tears coming down my face because I'm so touched that she's read me this story from the Bible, and it's about light, and the light that I brought to her, and obviously having Alzheimer's, she would have me in some darkness. And she says, Greg, I see you. You like my reading? And I said, yeah. I mean, she just touched my heart so deeply. So after she finished that, we talked a little bit longer, and she said, Craig, there's another book that's in my drawer. It's Harold Robbins' book. And,
Harold Robbins.
Would you mind me? I'm on chapter 7, and I was wanting to finish the book. It got into some good parts. And I thought I might. And so she said, so I said, yes, I got the book out, or I gave her.
So she's becoming more and more cognitive as you're going
she's
here.
Talking about, her husband,
Wow,
and
she's
really coming in. And she read.
Wow.
About 300 words.
Yeah.
I walk in, and I hear her voices coming out, and I see a woman sitting next to her, and they're conversing and talking quite animately. I peeked in, and I go, hello, and I'm just holding my breath, and she goes, oh, that's Craig. That's the man that taught me to read. Hey, I finished that other book, and now I'm reading my Bible. I better reread my Bible after reading that book. And so I said, yes. And see, so she has a sense of humor and a relationship and understands, and she's having comprehension. That alone brought us to being able to be in research at UCSD.
Wow. I love your story, and I love the voices. That's the best part.
When we're teaching the reading method, we're transforming and illuminating 2 dormant parts of the brain.
Nice.
And then yesterday I spoke to a neuroscientist who said we're actually accessing more. And because there's actually a feeling, a flooding of blood into the parts of the brain that we are actually activating, and the people are actually scratching their head and touching their head. The group that we focus on are dyslexic students, and those dyslexic students are been abused and told that they're dumb and stupid. And my brother was the one that developed the reading method. And my brother, until he was 30 years old, was really confused about reading and had big challenges in school. And he went to law school because he got through college in like 6 years by just doing nothing but focusing. And he was in law school, and in the first week he realized he couldn't do this. And so a law professor spoke to him and said, well, you don't have to learn and remember everything. We put it into concepts. He went home, and the next morning he woke up, and he had been studying reading and pushing the door to open for reading, and he had really wanted reading. He had a preschool that he taught it, and he sat down and he wrote out the reading method that we teach today.
Wow.
And it's 7 concepts, just 7 concepts. And then he took it to his preschool. He taught someone who was 3.5 years old. And then he just continued to teach people and teach people. And my brother graduated from law school at the top of his class.
Wow.
After he
Awesome.
learned to read. In some ways, for me, someone who is called dyslexic, I would say is brilliant, but can't read. And since in 2.5 hours we can transform them into readers, it's an amazing transformation. But it doesn't just affect that, because we are impacting the brain. So UCSD is doing brain imaging on students before and after to determine what happened to the brain, what changes took place. 2 dormant parts of the brain. And so when we activate those 2 dormant parts of the brain, then our students, like people who have PTSD, or people who are ADHD, or who are, have Asperger's syndrome.
Now that you've been with us today, you've learned that you can learn to read, or somebody you know can learn to read in 2.5 hours. But like I said, it took me 3 years. That was first, second, third grade. You said they have to be like 4th grade level, so I get that now. So anyone that you know that's struggling with reading, even if they have Asperger's, right, we can help them. And Craig is the one to reach out to.